So the actual day itself, for the most part, since the tornado happened really early in the morning, it wasn't exactly a long day. It was, in my experience, what a lot of people's in town was, which was emergency alerts going off on phones. Had to get my kids out of their bed from upstairs, brought them downstairs, got them in a safe place while we listened to the wind and hail and everything beat against the house, trees falling down all around the house, that kind of thing, all the animals in the closet. You know, that was kind of the immediate experience of the storm. We knew that there was potential for it. Just as it got closer, it turned into what it turned into.
We'll start with the day because it actually happened in the middle of the night. The day before, that Saturday, was a great day. We were at the lake, had a great time, had a relaxing evening, and really didn't think there was too much to be too concerned about. With one exception, here at the county, our public safety administrator called me earlier that day and said, "This storm that's coming in, I'm a little concerned about it. I'm going to be paying attention to it." And that was kind of the first clue I had that there might be something more significant. But all in all, we had a really good day on that Saturday.
We did. It was our first day back out on the lake, Table Rock Lake, to sort of open up lake season, and it was our wedding anniversary, and we had a great time.
So that night, we turned in for the night at about normal time, and we're not really late night people, and started getting some warnings, very, very early morning Sunday, very, very late Saturday. And we knew a storm was coming in, didn't know exactly how severe it was going to be. Got up when the first warning started coming in on the phone, and saw that we were under a tornado watch, not yet a tornado warning. And I got up and started paying attention, like a lot of people do, to the folks on television, Dan Scoff, telling us about what weather was coming in. And that's really how that night started, as we started to go into the evening itself.
So today is a beautiful day here in Bentonville, Arkansas. We are just outside of Kohler, which is a trail system here. We have a ton of people that come in to ride bikes in this area. And as I said, the skies are blue. It is gorgeous. But here's the thing I know. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but at some point, a storm is coming. We're going to spend this Lent in the Gospel of Luke. And what's significant about the Gospel of Luke, especially when we talk about Jesus Christ, is that Jesus is really playing the role of the prophet in the Gospel of Luke. Now, I often ask people what a prophet is, and their usual answer to me is, it's a person who tells the future. Well, there's some truth to that. But what is actually true about a prophet is that they know what's coming. And they may know what's coming because they have a special revelation from God, or they may know what's coming just because they've been paying attention and they recognize the natural outcomings of choices that we make, of decisions that we have, or they've watched enough of the world to recognize how things work and how we get into the messes that we get into. I like to think of a prophet as that person that's sort of tied into the storm warning system, maybe our meteorologists of faith, so to speak. And certainly Jesus is doing that for us throughout our lives, but definitely in the Gospel of Luke. Jesus foresees what is going to happen based on decisions that are made. But here's the challenge that's before us. We may have a storm warning system. We may have Jesus calling out to us and inviting us to change our lives and to change our hearts and to react with love to one another. But we have a choice as to whether we listen to that storm warning system or not. When I was very, very young, about 1.5 years old, my mother wrote about a time that happened in our community in a diary that she was keeping about my earliest days of life. I lived in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and we had a tornado hit Stillwater. And what happened that week is that the sirens went off every single night. It was, life in Tornado Alley. It was not uncommon in those early summer days for us to have tornado warnings, for the sirens to go off. But by the time they had gone off several nights in a row, people had quit paying attention. That particular night, we needed to pay attention. The town was devastated, struck by a Friday the 13th tornado. That's the challenge that's always before us as people of faith, to pay attention. In the passage that we're reading for this week, we have the temptation of Jesus Christ when the devil shows up and offers Jesus some choices. Jesus knows to make the right choices because Jesus centers himself in the Word of God and responds accordingly. But that passage ends rather ominously with a warning that the devil departed from him until the next opportunity. We always have to be on guard for the storm that is coming, and we need to pay attention to the storm warning system. That will help us survive the next disaster.
Yeah, a lot of new experiences, dealing with a disaster and FEMA, and we had lots of different folks coming to assist and help and trying to figure that out. But again, I think the good news is silver lining this whole thing was it could have been so much more catastrophic from a life standpoint. What we ended up knowing within the first 24 to 48 hours is that it was really going to be a property issue, not as much a life issue. Unfortunately, we did have 5 fatalities that were attributed to the event. Only one directly that night, but it could have been so much worse. I don't know how we could actually reduce disasters because they sure seem to be on the increase. And there's a lot of potential reasons for that and speculation, and there's, global warming and people who don't believe in global warming, and I don't want to get into any of that. I think what we need to recognize is there are seemingly more disasters now than there have been before. It seems like there are more coming than there have been before. And those are disasters of all different types, but they seem to be more impactful. We've had fires in California before, but these latest fires seem to have just been unbelievably bad. We've had hurricanes before, but hurricanes that have reached all the way up into the interior of North Carolina seems remarkably odd, if you will. And then even to have 7 tornadoes hit us in one night is just a very unusual occurrence. And so I think we all are going to have to be a lot more vigilant about being prepared for disasters.